no more, and eventually it will go away. And I started realizing, wow, this is deep, this is crazy. So I started researching more and more because I wanted to know, what is this? And I'm still kind of nervous because now I'm isolated from the world, and I'm going through these changes. I'm seeing all these spirits and worlds and all these things, and I can't add it up. It wasn't until I got into the medieval days that everything started making sense. And it was crazy. It was actually alchemy books. When I started reading this one book, it was called the Forefathers of Alchemy. It was like a 1,000-page book of every alchemical professor from back in the medieval days, and their story. But these stories was different. It wasn't like alchemical stories. It was about God and how a force came, or a government that took all the ancient Egyptians' doctrine and redid them over and made them untrue. It was like a skimmage going on between the truth and a lie, because it didn't just come like how we got it today. There was a time when they was pushing it on. They was pushing this information through Pythagorean. You understand? But back then, people was not following Pythagorean. They was really following the Egyptians. And then when the Greeks came, they started taking out a lot of information as far as spirituality and religion, because the Egyptians had a system where their spirituality and their government system was one thing. That was the law of Ma'at, the law of cause and effect. So when the Romans and the Greek got it, because they couldn't understand the information, they took out the spirituality in it. It affected the herbal industry the most, because a lot of the healing books was tampered with now through Pythagorean, and it was another one. Whoever we follow now as our great philosophers, they was the ones the culprits that changed the books. And by the ones I was reading, this was when the change actually started taking place, and they was arguing with the court system and the kings that this is wrong, that we should stick to the books of the Egyptians and the Magi's. And I got to understand now what's going on. And so reading their books, the first one started talking about the Philosopher's Stone, the elixir. Now I'm getting someplace. So I'm like, what the fuck is this Philosopher's Stone and this elixir? So when I read it, it's talking in parables. It will make you have this. You will feel this. It will change you in this way. So I'm like, yes, that's it. And then now I'm like reading more, and it's telling you now the process of what it do. Like, it takes something impure and purifies it. So when I went through that death, that spiritual death or rebirth, it took the impure me. Let me tell you, prior to this, back then, I was like a freak nigga, posting with no shirt on, dick out, entering contests for freaky shit, having 5-6 bitches. I was big, muscular, everything, perfect. So I was doing my thing, but I didn't feel like I felt. I wasn't abusing women, because I never claimed I was in a relationship or with a woman. This was all being single and doing things dating people do, but that's what I was into. More into them dating groups and all that fucked up shit that people be doing in their lower animal self. That's how I was prior to this coming on to me. So that death was not really a death. It was my soul got extracted, my pseudo soul. Me believing I'm American, me believing I get the bitches, and that what the government tell us is right. That got taken, because what I had was like a state of emptiness. But I was still full. I knew everything, but it was like this state made me want. It was like you wiped off a chalkboard. You wiped it off, and now it's ready for fresh new information. So with this, I started reading in the alchemical book at the same time. It's telling me your teachers are the stars. Your teachers is the sun, the stars, and the moon. So I'm like, wow, this connects. Yes, I'm with you. I'm listening. Let me hear more. So he started telling you that our parents and our grandparents, they're the ones who impose these bad ways on us. If they would let nature raise their child and give yourself to nature or whatever, it will teach you the new way. Every generation is born smarter and better. But sometimes we stop that and hinder it by imposing how we was raised on them, because they don't get raised by themselves. Actually, every day, a being come, or the ancestors or these stars or these suns literally give you these upgrades in yourself. So I had to learn this. And so learning that, I started connecting with the star, the moon, the sun, and everything, and was receiving not just any type of energy. Let me tell you, when I go see like the Cyrus star is out at tonight, and I look at it and do my little ritual, whatever, which is no big ritual, and go home that night, I would get a visit from that being. They come as an animal or some type of entity, but that's somebody inside of that. That's like a logo, an image logo or avatar. It's not them. You understand? So you will see a lot of animals like the dragon, lizards. There's something in there. It's a being in there. You understand? And so we got it all fucked up. That's why I laugh at everybody. Really, those is portal and gatekeepers. So I'm not saying I laugh at everybody in general, but it's a lot of white people that are saying that these archons, these people that control the world, this shit, come on, this been going on before we was here. You understand? This is who we are. If you know who you are, you got these people that follow the Aldodabra, the light. Remember, there's the original. And people got it fucked up. They be thinking the original is the light. But the original is the darkness, because it says in the Bible, in the beginning, it was darkness. It came next the light on the third day. So they got it fucked up, because what we call Ra, is actually the light when it's separated from the darkness. But spirits and souls come from the darkness. Before you was born, you was inside the darkness of your womb or your parents. Every night you go to sleep, you go back to that darkness for 8 hours. Then you come back here to learn lessons. When you die, you go back to that darkness where you come from. So there's nothing with you and no light. You just visit the light. I don't understand why we let people convince us that the light is this and the light is that, when in actuality you only visit it for a few hours a day. And everything that you're being taught and deceived about is with your five senses, which work off of the light. It's your pineal that work off of the other sense that's inside of you, the spiritual side. So you got to understand the trick that's going on, because not all of us is from the visible light spectrum. The visible light spectrum is a very small frequency and range for very low people. We go through that out of fear. But you got to look at of 100% matter. We only seeing 0.2% or 2%, whatever you want to call it. So the rest of the spectrum is for us. It's not for them. They can't see there. But we're from the other color spectrum. So we have another part to us. That's why you have melanin, the dark melanin. We give off infrared heat. You understand? I try to teach you a different frequency, because I don't have this theoretically. I see it. I fuck with these people every day. They're a part of me. And so what I see, I go back and read, and I try to bring it to you in books that I know is fact. If I lay it down, it's a fact, because I'm seeing these things. I just can't tell you, because I would sound crazy just telling you like all the stories that I'm telling you. So what I do, I use books of the people I know from old. I don't even use present books. I don't use books on black. I use classic books that tell you these facts been around. All this shit we call aliens. Ain't no such thing as alien. That's you. You have multiple yous. You got to understand what the ancients had to say about all this stuff and who you are. The words at the Temple of Delphi is, know thyself, and you will know the universe, and you will know God. You see, they only tell you the part, know thyself. You need the other two for you to understand everything. If you don't understand the universe, you won't understand God. Let me tell you why. When I first went into that world, the first motherfucking thing you see is a dragon bigger than the Milky Way. You say to yourself, God, you have to be real, because if somebody don't have control of these motherfuckers out here, we're dead. All of us. If you see what's going on out there, yo, you can put it like this: the earth is like a nigga eyeball, man, in these worlds you're going to. So Don't think this is a joke. You gotta read books like, read the Mad Arab. Google the Mad Arab, man, and hear how this nigga lost his fucking mind telling you about what happened in the astral world. It's not what you think. Go look at how these other peoples is having experiences with it. Go look into the archons. It was called the archons now. They don't call it the gods no more because they already chose sides. They chose the sides of Jehovah, the light. And you know, the archons is from the abyss, the dark abyss, the black light, the darkness. So they don't want that. They want to separate themselves and just be robots. They eventually gonna be robots because they fail to realize that you have to be consciously connected to something to have consciousness. And if you remember Schulman, and he put people in the earth, buried them in a lead box, and he was able to take their consciousness away because it was not in them. It's a ray like a light that's shining on you, coming through you through a magnetic field. That's why they invented Schumann resonance to counter that. So these things now, when you separate yourself from the light and all that, or you go for this one that they're going with the archons, this evil and all this other stuff, you realizing you're going against the first creations, the beginning of everything, God's soldier, his first front line. You know, you read Revelations. When you read Revelation, that's the revelation means the mystery will be revealed. And that's what it's telling you right there. Everything that was a mystery, the archons is the dragons, the virgin, you know, that's Arset, Isis. All of these things is coming back now. So if it's in Revelation like that, how are they going to counter it? You can't counter it. So all that shit about the archons and this evil and this and that, we're not supposed to stay in one state of being, one low consciousness and think, oh, I'm human or I'm this and I'm that, and I go for morals. Nah, you're here to evolve. So you will start off as a fucking worm, and all of a sudden something gonna come and lock your ass up and snatch you up and harvest your motherfucking ass, and then next thing you know, you come out a fucking butterfly. You understand? And if you don't want to be a butterfly, you can't participate in the evolutionary cycle of nature. Nature is going to abort your ass. That's the truth. The phoenix. You have to turn to the fiery phoenix. So with that in mind, I come out and I teach ascension. Ascension now is this whole process that I'm going through. Because what I learned, my soul was not active. Let me get to that part. The trick to this is that there was this one guy in there that caught my attention in this alchemy book now. This guy named Paracelsus. Genius. I don't know. You understand? There is a lot of people, especially white people, that have these souls, that take these journeys. Paracelsus had every fucking thing I was going through mapped out. Detail in detail. Every little thing. You get into his books. This is the man who invented hydrogen, beryllium. He found about all the elements. He made up just about all the medicine. He's the actual Amenhotep of the modern age, B. You understand? So anyway, reading his books on the astral world, God and spirits, his shit is thorough. He ain't gonna tell you about like the astral world. He's not gonna tell you about elementals. No, he's gonna be like the Siths. They had kids and they lived like this, and this is what they do. He break everything down in detail so you know this is not no alien shit. This is not no shit that's coming from another parallel universe like they told about with the archons. This shit, Paracelsus broke them all down, what their jobs is, and we're not supposed to worship them. They're part of nature. They're the elements of nature, the subatomic particles they call chaos energy now. You understand? And which become fractal. When they become fractal, they become like a hologram image. So they call it fractal energy now and all this stuff. So you got to understand, you got these people that's here trying to scare people and talk a lot of nonsense, but don't understand what really who they are. That's why I said in the Temple of Delphi, know thyself. But you first got to know the universe, and then you know God. Because like I said, you see the universe, you're going to see these big ass scary things, and you're going to say to yourself, oh my God. Once you say that, then you know there has to be something greater than them that govern it. Now, what's greater than them is that, and I didn't know at first until I got into the Gnostic recently. And God bless Bobby Hemmett. Bobby Hemmett guided me through this whole thing too, because without Bobby Hemmett telling me to embrace the evil side and the dark side and all that stuff, when these beings come, I would think that it's the devil and it's evil and all this stuff, until Bobby made me realize we judge images. Images don't mean anything because that's their look. So they take their images and demonize them on us on purpose. You know, you look at the word demon, it's literally a New Christian's meaning. The actual word was demion. And a demion, if you look it up in Gnostic terms, is actually the highest being, a godlike being sent here to ascend humans. My name is Damian. And also Samael is the same Enki as the actual angel Samael. These attributes you attribute in yourself. If these is you, that's who you are. Same as my birthday is 111. So my journey is not an unusual journey. It aligns. That's what we have to do. We can't try to figure something out. It's already there. All you have to do is pinpoint it. When you try to think or why, you constrain yourself like a laser to like a little dot on me. When you don't think of why, you see the whole picture and everything makes sense. Never question nothing. Just go and do it. Use your instincts. So with this in mind, I hope you get an understanding so far of why I started this ascension and stay mostly on this topic, because when I read Paracelsus, the man is a genius too, and he speaks mostly upon you don't have a soul. And that caught my attention the most because that made sense. But you know what? How could you trust this? How could you just say, "Die, that's what it is. Hey, I'm good now. Hey, fellas, what's going on? Yo, what's up? Let's unite." No. I kept that in the back of my mind. And he told me that he's talking like everybody's born with a soul, but if you don't develop it or make it rise, it's not going to come out of you. And when you die, you cease to exist. These things align with the Egyptians, how they say about mortals and gods. And if you die like a mortal, you're going to be fed to a mentat and you die. But if you deal with the creatures of the underworld, or you was to meet them prior to death and you defeat them, you will have forever protection, guidance, and they will guide you through the underworld. And that's the experience I have, because trust me, I have many sleepless nights, months, maybe still sleepless nights. No, the past month, this is the first month that it's been peaceful. But I war with these things, light candles, fight, spit, turn to beings. I fight with these things for my peace, to not have paralysis. But it was me fighting myself. Those beings is me. Those is all my spirits, my different multi-dimensional self. All that I do is what I project into matter. Let's speak on that real quick so I can end it off. What it is that we don't understand is, as who we are, we're living in a living substance. This living substance, you got to understand, is called matter. Don't look at matter as an inanimate thing. Look at matter as a living animal, a creature. That's what you're living in. And you're composed of this living animal or creature. These is what cells is and all these other stuff is. So as long as you understand you're in matter, your worst enemy when you die is matter. Death is a giant monster. It's a giant being. You're in matter, a living being, a monster. So you would see it like when you die, the matter is a big dragon. And you just become a little pore in his thing. So when you watch my videos and you see like I'm showing you into the other world through my forehead, that's just how it is. It's a being like a dragon or some type of old god, and you're looking into the orb holes and you go in there, but you push and you go through. Now what you see is literally like a cell, and the outer side of it, or the bezel, is projecting light towards you. It hits your eye and your retina, and your brain or neurons send out a column, a wave of signal that's like DMT. It comes like a flash column, like whoop, 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 whoop. This is how it's going towards your projection. You don't see it, it's a light. And as it does this, it makes color. You see what is there how you want to see it. But it's not the actual image. It will be like me, and you're just seeing me like this. and then the DMT start hitting right here on here. It's going there, but as it hits there, it turns colors: green, purple, orange, and a smart image comes up. That would be your dream. So you intensify this, and that's what you're feeling. How do I know this and can verify it? When you're dreaming, your eyes is flattering and fluctuating. That's what it's doing. You're literally awake and alive and doing it. It's just in another world. So you got to understand these things and how you work. So I'm giving you just an idea of why I push this in the direction that I push it in, to awaken the unconscious, to say, you know, pull out your soul, because all of this got to do with information. The more information you attain, the more your soul ascends, the more consciousness you have, and the more we're able to get back to who we originally are as melanated beings, as even human beings, because we're all being tricked, deceived, and used. You understand? So that's how I came out to be. Now, I'm not just going to end it right at this point to say that that's it. Because with now me accepting everything, I'm able now to go into a state of meditation every day. I'll tell you what happened. After the eclipse for me was the weirdest experience in the world, and it changed a lot of the things I see. You know, and one of the things I started seeing on the day of the eclipse, the clouds, as I recorded, turned into like the 4 horsemen. I saw the Leviathan, the snake, is some stupid big snake, Pan. I saw Metatron. I saw a whole bunch of gods. And these gods was literally communicating with me. I could hear the horses. I really did the video, the prophecy off of that. If you watch it, you will see them. You see even the scarlet sitting on the throne. A lot of people don't understand how spiritual world work. It's the same like in the biblical sense. These is not jokes when Ezekiel say he looked up and saw in the clouds this. Everybody looked up. Everything that got to do with God got to do with a cloud. If you go read back, you will understand that that's just your spirit. You have 2 sets of eyes. Your eyes that it could interpret motherfucking sand and dirt and trees. And then you got another eye that inside your pineal that interpret light. And that's what you have to understand. It's the light one that you have to get popping. It's not the other one, because you have to make your own light for you to survive in that world. If not, you're going to keep reincarnating. The reincarnating process works through this semi-God that is not really a God. But they don't tell you is that we all worship deities. Nobody worship God. Everybody forgot about God or whatever. Because if you worship God, you worship yourself, your God. So deities is all the different aspects of yourself. So you worship in the aspect of your ego, your pride, whatever it may be. It's Oshun, Heru, Isis. It's all frequencies and aspects of yourself. But once you grasp them all, it's like pulling all your frequencies together, show all your multidimensional self, and you will see it all snaps into you. The God, the creator of all of this. Motherfuckers don't realize they create until they put their dicks inside a pussy and they create a fucking baby. Think about that, motherfucker. If you're creating a baby, you're the source of all life. Alright. Now on that note, if you know you're the creator, you will know that if you using these other forces and not your will and your intentions and your intuition, you missing the whole point, because then you serve a side of you. That's why they say you be a slave to your own self. You know what I'm saying? A slave to the master. And that master is your pride, your ego, or whatever you're praying to other than yourself. You know what I'm saying? And believing in yourself only. When you want something, you put your mind to it and you will get it. Concentration and focus will get you all those stuff. Those guys is really here to do a job as you elevate through your perception and guide you. And even, you know, you call upon to do their bidding or whatever. But remember, when you get to a certain level, we can't do that. That's dead. You know, we can never ask for anything, use them for anything. But I guess whatever level people is on, you'll know. But I didn't never really... After I got to know them, I didn't really care to want anything from them, because I seen, even if a motherfucking penny float across the room, that's one of them carrying that shit. So I know that that's not what I wanted. You know, I was taught the science on how to do it, but I couldn't fuck with it. It's too many spirits and too much shit going on. That's the Egyptian shit. And I imagine how powerful you got to be in the mind, and plus how many spirits you got to wear to do all that. That's deep. But anyway, we always able to do that with our eye. Use the magnetic field of your eye. Anything you put a magnetic field on with your eye, it loses gravity. So we lock on anything, rocks. That's how they build the pyramids. It had no gravity, zero gravity to it. You take it out by taking away the magnetic field. And you do that with your eye. On the outer layer, you got a cornea, a white cornea that comes up, and you connect to the magnetic field. If you could get into the Osiris, which is the silver body, now you flash, and you lock onto it. Your body lock into a stiff position. As you lock into a stiff position, it's the same thing as moving the thing. So as you're able to move your body as stiff as it is, you're picking the object up and moving it too at the same time because you're on the same field that it's on. It's that simple. But nobody understands that science. Remember, I was the first to break it down to you. They probably learned that soon. But anyways, now, I'm kind of getting hungry. We'll pick this up later, but I just wanted y'all to understand why I bring this information to you. Why I be so hard on my brothers and sisters. It's not because I'm a dickhead, arrogant. I take the time out for everybody. I make myself available sometimes to my own family and loved ones. And I'm available to help somebody that really need help. You know, and that's my downfall right now. I don't see anything bad ever came from it. It's sometimes separation from people who share the matrix belief system, and you trying to renew your mind. So in renewing your mind, you have to isolate yourself because it's like you just learning and you will forget fast. So if you don't take the time out to let it marinate in you and you be this new person, you will lose it hanging out with the wrong people. That's what got people in trouble in the first place. The wrong crowd will fuck you up. So you got to be amongst your own. Sometimes you don't have nobody. And it's set like that on purpose for isolation so you could go within. Remember, this is about know thyself. If the whole world was, if it was written in the clouds and the whole world had to do it, you'll see nobody outside. Everybody will be inside knowing they self. University of Conscious Science. One love.